Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to my latest review. And now after having a look at the ZX Spectrum version of Typhoon, now we're taking a look at the Amstrad CPC version. And it's been programmed by the same people as the Spectrum version, and the music's also by the same person. We've got the same tune on the title screen as in the Spectrum version, which I suppose isn't surprising because that particular version has been done by the same person as the Spectrum version, and the Amstrad has pretty much the same sound chip as the 128K Spectrum. But one thing that is interesting about this version is it's one of the comparatively few Amstrad CPC games in which you cannot use the keyboard to control. You have to have a joystick. So let's just get this going. Oh my word. Oh god, that's a good start. Well, they may have redone the plane and those missiles, but other than that, this has got slow Spectrum port written all over it. Seriously, all these ZX Spectrum ports which run at pitifully slow frame rates. I can't imagine how annoying that must have been as soon as Amstrad CPC users found out what had been going on for so long. I mean, yeah, they might have done. What the hell hit me there? No, there was nothing there. Well, here's the aircraft carrier again, and that's definitely lifted from the Spectrum version. Oh god, I'm going to fall asleep just watching this. Come on. And as with the Spectrum version, if this version doesn't gradually get bigger and bigger into view, nor does it rotate the way it does on the original arcade version. Well, that was so hard. I was absolutely sweating buckets there. I mean, I didn't even have to move that time. Once I figured out the sweet spot, I could just keep pummeling with a weak point. So here's stage 2. Well, this has sort of reeks of specky port as well, but on the plus side, it's not monochrome, so it's not quite the same problem of not being able to see what's going on so well. But the colours they've used are just bleh. Now, I actually have to reach over to the space bar to drop these bombs. I'm hoping I'm not going to have the same problems with hit. Again, what the hell just killed me there? There was nothing there. And why is that just a sphere? I mean, it had the letter E in it on the Spectrum version. Dear. Yeah, it's good that they added a bit of colour. It's just a shame that it's still essentially a Spectrum port. At least it's not slow. So on this occasion, having the smaller playing area helps it, because let's face it, the Amstrad CPC does struggle with scrolling. Damn it! Oh my god, why am I getting killed by nothing? That's one problem the Spectrum version doesn't have. At least I'm not getting killed by absolutely nothing. I mean, there's clearly nothing there. And I also noticed that when you restart a new life, your helicopter's momentarily flashing, suggesting there's actually a bit of invulnerability. Yeah, I've got the three-way. Let's see how long that lasts, because I'll lose it if I get blown to bits. Sorry, when I get blown to bits. Right, so I press the spacebar to drop bombs in this CPC version and return in order to use the smart bomb. Again, the Amstrad CPC has the AY sound chip in it, so it's just a shame there's no in-game music. Oh. Yeah. Oh, for crying out loud. I was barely even trying for that boss and I defeated. I was mainly going for those helicopters. Stage 3. Come on. Ugh. Well, at least the colours make more sense, but it's still a bit vomit-inducing. Unfortunately, the mode that's typically used for spectrum ports is a mode that only allows 4 colours. But at least they've actually added some colours, so it's not the same problem of being really hard to see what's going on to the same extent that the spectrum version is. And at least it's not slow. I mean, the port of that. Again, I got trapped in a corner, so that's still a problem. Of course, I've lost that 3-way now, because I died. Oh, laser. I don't really want to be dealing with all that, thank you very much, so smart bomb it is. Sound effect for it's a bit crap, though. I mean, I know it's an Amstrad CPC, so it's a bit limited, but... So, oh, for God's sake. So that was the Amstrad CPC version of Typhoon. And it's going to lose some brownie points for largely being a spectrum port. They may have added some colour to the proceedings, but it's still got spectrum port written all over it for the most part. Especially those into the screen bits which run pitifully slowly. Graphics, well, they don't make the greatest use of the Amstrad's capabilities simply because they've used that mode that only allows for 4 colours, and the colours they picked are rather puke-inducing, and I can't help think that maybe one of the other modes might have, which can cater for more colours, might have served it better. Sound, well, again, it's pretty much the same problem as Spectrum version. There's no in-game music, even though both the 128K Spectrum and the Amstrad CPC have an AY sound chip in them, and as a result, it feels a bit empty. And despite limitations, I think I slightly preferred the sound effects in the Spectrum version, especially when I heard that rather embarrassing laser sound effect in this just now. But as ever, Jonathan Dunn's music on this title screen is very nice. Gameplay. Well, the less said about that into the screen first level, the better. I mean, that was just painfully slow, and that could have done with having that bit done from scratch and not just being a speccy port. The helicopter bits, which are more traditional vertically scrolling, were well, they work a lot better than the first level did. I mean, at least it wasn't slow and jerky like that was. And there's not the same problems of it being hard to see what's going on, but because the Amstrad CPC doesn't have the same colour attribute limitations that Spectrum does, so it doesn't have to worry about colour clash in anything like the same way. But some faults that are in this that are not present in the Spectrum version include those a few times where I just seem to blow up for no reason. Well, goodness, I'm still trying to think what could have happened on those instances, but I still don't. But at least you get a momentary invulnerability when you respawn after having died, so there's a reduced chance of dying immediately after losing a life because something else hits you when you respawn, then you can't avoid it. So that's a plus. But I think I'm going to give this version 7 out of 10 as well. I mean, in some respects, it's slightly better than the Spectrum version, like the momentary invulnerability when you respawn, and the fact that it doesn't have the same problem of not being able to see what's going on to anything like the same degree as the Spectrum's necessity for monochrome in its version. But things like the slowness of the into the screen bits and the fact that they've generally used the Spectrum version as a basis and picked some generally not pleasant to look at colour schemes, which make it a bit of an eyesore. Generally count against it as it doesn't make the best use of the Amstrad CPC's capabilities, but yes, 7 out of 10 for this version as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to catch you on another one soon. Taxi88 out.